Trae Young had no mercy on these players. Trae Young is only in his 4th year in the league, and yet already we see potential that's just off the charts. The Atlanta Hawks guard is incredibly fun to watch on the court, and it's resulted in a number of great plays already. And it just so happens that a lot of those plays involve Trae humiliating his opponents. So in today's video, we gathered up clips with the top 10 times Young embarrassed his opponents. Number 10. We've seen Kent Bazemore get himself crossed over a couple times throughout his NBA career, but this one was pretty bad. Trae served him up not once, but twice on the exact same possession during a game between the Hawks and the Golden State Warriors. Check it out.
He brings the Warriors back to within 3. Here's Young, guarded by Bazemore this time. Young slams on the brakes, and now Looney switches on.
Bazemore admittedly did a good job of sticking with him on the first one, but was pretty close to getting broken. The second crossover, though, had his entire body facing another direction and forced him to go into catch-up mode. Trae topped the whole play off by driving into the lane and knocking down a floater right over Bazemore's head. Number 9. Trae took on a player who is most known for his incredible handles and gave him a taste of his own medicine. With the Hawks taking on the Brooklyn Nets, Young made sure to use some of his best moves when Kyrie Irving was defending him. Let's take a look at the play.
Podcaster?
No. Do you?
I don't. Well, I don't know.
Here's Young to the rim.
Did you guys see that? Young started with a beautiful behind the back to get Kyrie thinking he was about to drive into the lane. Then he snatched that ball back instantly and had Irving confused where he was and facing an entirely different direction. At that point, Irving was no longer even a factor in the play. Trae just walked around him and took on DeAndre Jordan in the paint, easily cruising past him and hitting the layup. Number 8. It's never easy to be a center in the league and being tasked with defending a small, shifty point guard like Trae Young. In Ivica Zubac's case, it's the worst thing in the world. He was switched on to Young for a possession, and Trae instantly knew he had himself a mismatch. If this battle was in the paint, I think we all know that Zubac would have won, but this one came out to the perimeter, so let's take a look and see how it all played out.
Clippers average 13 turnovers a night. Trae changing direction, lobbing.
Young did not have any mercy on him there. He realized he could do anything he wanted after that initial crossover and led him closer just so he can quickly dribble away and have him fall way behind the action. On top of that, he threw an alley-oop to a teammate and converted with so many players surrounding him. If you go back, you could also pause the play and catch all 5 Clippers players staring straight at Trae while he drove into the paint, and yet he still found a way to get points on the board for his team. Number 7. This play was just cold. It happened during Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Hawks and the eventual NBA champions, the Milwaukee Bucks. Jrue Holiday, one of the best defensive guards in the league, was defending Trae here, so let's see how that panned out for him.
Here's Trae Young going behind the back. Young into the lane.
Young absolutely turned the heat up on Holiday on this possession. You know a crossover is nasty when the defender doesn't do anything but just sit and stare at the shot being taken. On top of that, though, I don't know if you caught Young doing the little shoulder shimmy before he attempted the shot, plus he knocked down the long jump shot. Without a doubt, it was a humiliating play for Holiday, but the Bucks did have the last laugh there after they won a competitive series. Number 6. Sometimes humiliating plays just go too far for some players, and that's what happened in this case. Young has been known to get players pretty badly on nutmegs, and Trevor Ariza wasn't having it. This was one of the most notable nutmegs of the season for Trae, but it ended a little differently than you might expect. Take a look.
And the Hawks started to pour it on here, up by 16. And a foul coming, and
Ariza wanted to make Trae know that he wasn't going to let those nutmegs fly when he was around. He knew that Trae had completely beaten him on that dribble move, and he was so embarrassed that he'd allowed it to happen that he just went out and shoved him out of bounds and took the foul. Really not that bad of an option considering that Young would have likely continued down into the lane and scored a very easy 2 points. To make this play even worse, Trae actually pulled it out during a 16-point blowout against the Trailblazers. How much more disrespectful can you get? Hey, if you don't want Trevor Ariza body checking you, I would suggest you smash that subscribe button. I heard through the grapevine that Young wasn't subscribed, which is why he took such a beating on this play. So what are you waiting for? Go click it. Number 5. Let's throw in one more nutmeg for you. This one wasn't nearly as physical as the first one, but Trae had the defender so beat that he took a second before even turning around to see the play. Here, check it out.
Trae, how about that? Sidesteps and lays it in.
J.J. Redick didn't have a chance the second Trae bounced the ball off the floor on that play. He knew that Redick wasn't expecting a nutmeg and got him so badly that JJ just continued his sweeping arm motion before slowly turning back around to look at him stride down the court and walk in an easy layup. Number 4. This one came back in high school. Unfortunately, we can't show you the full game, but we can throw in a couple clips from his ridiculous scoring performance. Take a look at these plays before we explain how humiliating this was for the other team. Okay, now that you saw those, let's talk about how the rest of this game went. Trae dropped a ridiculous 42 points in this game. He also helped end the game for his team so that they could walk away with the win. And after he did that, he took a bow and started blowing kisses to fans in the visiting student section. Number 3. This play also took place in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Bucks, and on this one, Young didn't embarrass his opponents by himself. No, this time he used a teammate to really get a few guys in a bad spot. Take a look.
Trae who goes to the left. Here's Young, setting it up for Collins. That was a pass, too. That wasn't.
As you can see, Trae didn't do any insane dribble move or anything like that on this one. All he did was get himself in position so that he can throw up a beautiful off-the-backboard lob to John Collins, who then embarrassed 2 Milwaukee players by dunking all over them. A play that simply wouldn't have happened if Young didn't do something crazy and toss it up off the backboard. Number 2. Now, this one was just absolutely disgusting. With the Hawks going up against the Detroit Pistons, Young had somebody looking for help. This was the perfect definition of a defender needing a map. Look at this.
You know, teams rely a lot on those three-point shots.
How about that? Trae goes between his legs.
Trae did something so difficult and made it look so easy. The way he did a few insane dribble moves and got his defender to do a complete turnaround while still looking around for him is just crazy. Like, the defender ran back to defend an imaginary player. That's just how bad the fake got him. Then, just to top it all off, he threw a bounce pass right around Blake Griffin like he wasn't even standing there. Number 1. We could not have this video without showing you this one. With the Hawks up by 20 points against the Boston Celtics, Trae decided to make their pain worse by doing something we don't get to see very often. This play happened all in the span of 1 second during an inbounds pass. Check it out.
I don't even.
Oh, look at this! Hey, he got it!
Whoa.
Oh, Trae!
As a defender, how can you just stand there with your back turned to the man passing the ball inbounds? At least flick your head around to see where the ball is. Young made him look absolutely silly on this play and made him watch as he scored an easy 2 points to stretch the lead to 22 points. I don't know about you guys, but I would just have to sub myself out the rest of the first half because I wouldn't want to show my face around there for a while. Luckily for the guy in question here, the arena was still empty due to health and safety protocols. I gotta think the crowd wouldn't have been very nice to him if that had happened in front of a packed arena. And with that, we wrap up today's video on the top 10 times Trae Young just humiliated his opponents. If you like this one, make sure to click on the video on the left as we think you'll want to watch that next. YouTube, though, thinks the other one on the right is more your style, so we'll let you decide which one you want to watch.